Hi everyone, Daniel from IJ Squared here, and I'd like to welcome you to Building Pinball Unleashed Part 1. Pinball Unleashed is a pinball series that is being developed by myself and Bryce McCann. Pinball Unleashed is a new direction of pinball that's going to allow us to break the leash that holds back the genre. Basically, what we're going to be doing is adding different gameplay mechanics to the fundamental template of pinball. Pinball Unleashed will not be the single game you're going to watch us create, but instead a new set of game rules that we can build and expand from. It's our attempt at building our own brand of pinball game. There will hopefully be several additions to the Unleashed family, each with their own unique characteristics, but that's then, so let's focus on the now. And that brings us to our first project, which is Halloween at the Haunted Mansion. Okay, it's our first addition to the Pinball Unleashed series, and as the title suggests, it's Halloween themed, which gives us a sure deadline for it to be completed. We chose a theme for two reasons, one of which being giving us a nice deadline to complete, and the second is because Halloween's just a fun theme and we think there could be something done with it. Now we'll attempt to go step by step in the creation of the game, using and explaining features of UDK. We're going to show the process for creating a game. Don't expect every little detail, but we will try to lay out as much as possible in the time frame we have. I don't want to get so caught up in making tutorials that nothing actually gets done on game development side. Alright, what you can expect from building Pinball Unleashed using UDK. Alright, you'll learn how to define game goals, and this will be done through the use of Unreal Script. Now, something similar could probably be done in Kismet, but creating very intricate Kismet sequences, trying to use states, etc. can get complicated really fast, and Kismet is more for level-specific code. So, learn how to import custom assets. That's a separate topic entirely. Making 3D models, you need a modeling application such as Autodesk Maya, or a freeware program like Blender. You also need to be able to do texture to these models. You need UV mapping, texture maps, normal maps, specular maps, or whatever else you need to make the model look right. Bryce is the art guy in this one, and although the main focus of this series is to use UDK, he may be able to give some insight on the creation process that will be helpful. Now, learn how to use Kismet to make level design a breeze. This includes creating sequences that you can save to a package and use later. Many people tell you that Kismet is not the way to go in creating games, and they're right. It runs much slower than Unreal Script, which in turn runs much slower than a language like C++ or Java or C Sharp, any of those. However, these guys at Epic know how to utilize hardware pretty nicely, and it doesn't hurt that you have average smartphone has more computing power than PCs did 10 years ago. Anyway, Kismet is an awesome tool to have, and because it's there, I suggest using it. Learn how to create custom Kismet actions for your game. This part requires some coding in Unreal Script. It's not tough, but it will help to take some intro courses on Unreal Script, or at least learn the object-oriented fundamentals. You need to understand what objects are and how they can communicate. I'll go over a little bit of this, but I'll also offer good places for you to go to learn further on the subject. You'll learn some basic Unreal Script. Like I said, I'm going to touch ever so lightly on this subject. The reason for this is I myself am not super confident in my abilities using Unreal Script, so I don't want to lead anyone down the wrong path and teach you any bad habits. However, I'm going to code some stuff that mostly works, and it may not be perfect or the most efficient, but it gets the job done. I'll be learning as well as doing this, so I guess we kind of learn together on this one. Alright, what this isn't, it's not going to be a hand-holding exercise. We are no way claiming to be professional developers. This is our first project, and we had a test one that was supposed to be released, in July, but we kind of missed our deadline, so you know how it can be when you're still kind of learning it. It's not going to be a guide to making a AAA title utilizing every awesome aspect of Unreal Engine. Sadly, we don't have the time or manpower for such a project. If you think that you could single-handedly create the next Gears of War because you hold in your hands the sheer power of Unreal Engine, I'm sorry to say you're setting yourself up for disappointment. It probably took 50 plus people 2 years to complete that game, so, or any other AAA game that you can think of. There's teams of people that work on this, so Set your bar a little lower for a one-man project, and I guarantee you can get something done. It's not going to be perfect, I can guarantee you that. We're not pros at this. This is our first project. There's surely going to be some flaws and inefficient approaches to solving problems, especially in the script, but our goal is to make this work. Well, that about wraps up this video, so until my next video is released, have some fun with UDK.